All right. How doing, everybody? Now that I'm in a study room, I can take my mask off. I'm just got to campus a few minutes ago. And for all you local folks, Positive Inception now has masks. My little brother Ryan has a Positive Inception store in town, and we'll be bringing some masks in by the end of the week. All proceeds for that will go to charity too. So shout out to Ryan Benoit, Laurentian alumni. So thanks everybody for joining me. I'm just going to get started in a few minutes. So I am on campus for the Instagram Live Q&A, and really excited to be here. It's the first day I'm back on campus in over 100 days. So really excited for that. And for the next hour or so, we're going to be doing a bit of a Q&A from questions that we received via our Instagram page last week. Alors bonjour et bienvenue. Mon nom c'est Jason-Scott Benoit et je suis ici sur campus pour la première journée dans plus que 100 jours pour effectuer une session questions-réponses avec Instagram Live. Puis j'aimerais remercier aussi notre équipe aux stratégies digitales. So thanks to all my colleagues in digital strategies to make this happen, and of course security and everybody else who is a part and giving me a special permission to arrive here on campus. So as you can see behind me, we're in the Parker building. If you guys recognize that, that's the atrium, which is kind of the center and focal point of our campus now. So really excited to be here, like I said, and for the next hour, I'll be collaborating with some of my colleagues in order to answer some of the questions that you guys had for us over the last couple of days. Before I do that, I'd just like to take a minute and present the land acknowledgement just to reinforce that tricultural aspect that we have here at Laurentian University, and I'll do that in both languages. So I'd like to begin by our gathering meeting today by acknowledging the Robinson Hero Treaty of 1850. We also further recognize that Laurentian University is located on the traditional lands of the Atikmishing, Anishinaabe, and greater city of Sudbury. Also includes the lands of the Wanapitei First Nations. As descendants and settlers, we extend our deepest respects to the indigenous people in this sentence. So, miigwech, en français, nous irons commencer par faire une reconnaissance du traité Robinson-Huron de 1850. Important aussi de souligner que l'Université Laurentienne se trouve sur le territoire traditionnel des Premières Nations Anishinaabe, et la ville du Grand Sudbury comprend également celle des Premières Nations de Wanapitei. Miigwech. All right, so like I said, we got a lot of questions from you over the last couple of weeks, and a lot of them obviously surrounding the aspect of going back to campus. Now, for the rest of the hour, I'll be repeating not only the questions, but also the answers that were received in both languages, anglais et en français. So bear with me there. So I'll kind of go in order as they were received, and we did get a lot of the same questions from a lot of people. Nous avons reçu plusieurs questions au sujet du retour du campus, et nous avons reçu plusieurs questions très semblables. Alors, je vais continuer vraiment à répondre, pas nécessairement dans un ordre chronologique, mais peut-être un peu plus au sujet des questions qui sont un peu plus populaires. So one of the biggest questions we got was when the library will be open. So as Sudbury is kind of beginning stage 3 of the reopening, Laurentian is also going to be going through their own steps. So in terms of library access, the archives will be open by appointment only to allow Laurentian researchers to access the services, and access to the library and resources will remain open with curbside pickup. So when I was coming in through the atrium, the bookstore is still open, and they're going to be doing curbside pickup and delivery for all textbooks. So for those of you who have questions about whether or not you're going to be able to still purchase your textbooks for the upcoming term, there is somebody working in the bookstore now, and they do have curbside pickup available for your textbooks. So stage 2 or phase 2 library will be open for students to open study areas, respecting the guidelines of social distancing and precautionary measures. So when I was even on campus, they have arrows, stickered arrows along the floor for directional purposes. So you'll find that once you sit back on campus. And the library collection can only be accessed by staff. So archives open per Laurentian University's research resumption plan. And then phase 3, the library and archives return to normal operations. Alors, phase 1, en français, les archives ouvriront sur rendez-vous uniquement pour permettre aux chercheurs de la Laurentian d'accéder à leurs services. L'accès aux services et aux ressources de la bibliothèque sera en ligne uniquement. Alors, je vais aussi partager l'information au sujet des services de la bibliothèque en ligne. So, Laurentian does have a really good library database online that's available to all students. So, for those of you who are worried about not being able to access these documents, I'm going to drop the link there in the chat just in a minute, and then that'll allow you to log in with your Laurentian username and password and access the library database online. L'accès aux services et ressources de la bibliothèque sera en ligne uniquement et avec un remplissage aux bordures du territoire envisiné jusqu'à la fin du mois de juillet. Comme j'ai dit aussi, la bibliothèque, la librairie est ouverte. Alors, il y a un membre qui travaille présentement. Alors, si vous avez des questions au sujet d'acheter vos livres pour le début de vos études en septembre, sachez que vous aurez l'occasion de ramasser vos livres ici sur le campus, aux bordures, ou bien aussi avoir vos livres envoyés chez vous à votre adresse. Phase 2, la bibliothèque sera ouverte aux étudiants pour l'utilisation des zones d'études ouvertes en respectant les lignes directrices des lignes d'éloignement social et les mesures de précaution. Alors, lorsque vous retournez sur le campus, vous êtes pour voir les flèches sur le plancher qui donnent vraiment les directions en termes de quelle direction marcher afin de vraiment respecter les zones comme genre social distancing. Ensuite, la bibliothèque n'est pas accessible qu'au personnel. Alors, seulement le personnel de Laurentian. Ouverture des archives selon le plan de reprise de la recherche de l'Université Laurentienne. Et puis, phase 3, la bibliothèque et les archives reprendraient leurs activités normales dans la troisième phase. Okay, cool. So, j'ai un lien que j'aimerais partager avec vous. I have a web link here for all of you who are wondering about library services. So, I'll just take a second here and fire it off in the comment section. So, bear with me a minute. And si vous voulez accéder au site en français, ça serait de suivre le même lien et ensuite juste faire la traduction de la langue française. Alors, c'est biblio.laurentian.ca. And there is like some digits and stuff at the end there. So I'm going to just share that. Biblio, okay. It's giving me autocorrect and bibliography, but that's not what I want to share. .laurentian.ca/research. Dun, dun, dun. And if you guys have questions along the way, if you guys are just tuning in now and missed the call out for questions last week, you could still ask your questions. And I have one of my colleagues here that's supporting questions and will share with me live in our Google documents that we have here. So if you see me kind of looking over to the screen, it's just because I have all those questions written up in our Word document, just to make sure that I kind of touch on everything that was asked. So, oui, si vous avez des questions, vous êtes priés de les poser au fur et à mesure que je continue la session. Un de mes collègues est en ligne aussi, puis il va comme partager les questions au fur et à mesure que je continue la session. C'est difficile à répondre un peu pendant que je parle, puis je vois vos questions rentrer. So here's that. Boom. So biblio.laurentian.ca/resource/services/#tab8. And then, comme je l'ai dit en français, ça serait juste effectuer le même lien et faire la traduction en français. Okay, so another question we got, when will the gym be open? And that was a big question that we got a couple of times from a number of different students. Knowing that Sudbury was going into phase 3 as of Friday, where gyms are now permitted to reopen. Though we're in stage 3 in Sudbury, and we are given the green light to proceed, we're in the process of deciding how this facility is going to be reopened. So an announcement will be made very soon on behalf of the university to kind of give a little bit more instruction and further instruction on how the gym will be reopening. So même si Sudbury vient juste de rentrer dans la troisième phase de retournement, réouverture de l'Ontario, on comprend que les services de loisirs peuvent maintenant être accessibles. Par contre, l'Université de Laurentian va effectuer leur propre décision à ce sujet très bientôt. Je me suis dit peut-être par la fin de la semaine. Alors, on va partager cette information-là avec la communauté ainsi que les étudiants de la Laurentian aussi, pour ceux qui ont une pause et puis veulent continuer à faire leur workout sur le campus. Ça serait possible. Puis, on va faire une mise à jour à ce sujet très bientôt. So I'm just seeing a question here from Jordan. You can actually register for courses already. Course registration was open on June 15th, I believe it was. So regardless of your program, if you're online business admin, you can still register for courses. You don't want to find yourself at my.laurentian.ca. And at that site there, you'll be able to access your self-service platform. And that's where you'd essentially complete course registration. If you have any questions about how to proceed, how to navigate through self-service, if you're unfamiliar with that new platform, you can email orientation@laurentian.ca. We'll definitely give you a hand navigating through that. And if you have specific questions about what courses to plan and register for, you can email academicadvising@laurentian.ca. Link up with an academic advisor, and then they can help you make sure that you have all the proper courses in your schedule going forward. So je peux répéter en français. Si vous voulez compléter l'inscription de cours, c'est accessible dès le 15 juillet. Alors, ça serait de naviguer sur votre map.laurentian.ca, votre compte étudiant, et puis effectuer votre inscription de cours d'après la plateforme Libre-Service. Si vous avez besoin de l'appui à naviguer votre portail Libre-Service, vous pouvez envoyer un courriel orientation@laurentian.ca. Si vous avez besoin de l'appui au sujet des cours, quels cours apprendre, ça serait de communiquer avec un conseiller ou une conseillère aux études. Alors, leur adresse courriel, c'est conseil avec un S, aux études avec un X, études ETUDES à laurentian.ca. Et puis, ils peuvent vous appuyer. When can we return a book to the library? That's a good question, actually, Lantin. So Lantin, if you want to drop that in the message, I can go and ask once I'm done here in the session and let them know. But I know they do have curbside pickup, so I'm sure if you communicate with them via email to drop off your books, then they can make an arrangement to find you curbside. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to highlight some of these questions, make sure that I know that they're done. I don't want to mix up and kind of come through twice here on that. Okay, cool. When will the G Hall be open? The G Hall, which is the Great Hall, which is their main dining hall on Laurentian's campus, will be open to offer limited food services, and that would be in the Great Hall. So knowing that some students will be permitted to move on to campus, move into residence, domestic and international, there will be a social distancing plan when it comes to food services on campus. And depending on the number of individuals on campus, when we start phase 3 of our reopening plan, then we'll be able to expand those services as more people arrive. There was a note saying that due to provincial directive, there will be no buffet style at the Great Hall. So if you're a returning student, you would have been accustomed to that already, where you have the all-you-can-eat dining experience. So it won't be that style for the foreseeable future. So please take note of that. Alors, quand ça vient au service de restaurant, la grande salle serait ouverte, sauf que ça serait limité aux options de manger. Et à fur et à mesure qu'on accepte plus de personnes sur le campus, ou bien qu'on retourne effectivement dans la phase 3, on va offrir plus de services alimentaires à travers le campus. Tuition due for the fall. So tuition is actually based on the number of courses that you register for. And if you completed course registration, you will see that financial information in your portal after June or July 23rd. So technically we're still finishing up with the spring term. So once the spring term changes to the fall in a couple of weeks, probably by the end of this week, you'll see that reflection there in your financial information through your self-service platform. And your first installment of tuition would be due on August 10th. So good question for that, Brent. So pour vos frais de scolarité, ça va d'après les nombres de cours que vous êtes inscrits. Alors, si vous vous inscrivez à un cours, vous êtes déjà inscrit, vous êtes pour recevoir votre information financière dans votre compte libre-service après le 23 juillet. Nous sommes présentement en train de finir la session de printemps 2020. Alors, notre système technique comprend que nous sommes en train de finir cette session pendant une couple d'autres jours. Alors, probablement par la fin de la semaine ou non, sinon la semaine prochaine, vous auriez votre information financière dans votre compte libre-service. Et puis, après cette date-là, votre premier paiement de vos frais sera dû le 10 août. Si je ne me trompe pas, c'est un vendredi aussi. Students moving into residence. So we got a lot of questions about when moving into residence, how that's going to look like. So Laurentian University residents will be available for move-in from August 31st to September 8th. Students will need to book a 1-hour time slot to move in, and we're limiting the move-in to only having 2 helpers per person. More detail on move-in will be sent directly to the student, along with a link to book a time. So if you plan on moving into campus or moving into residence in September, if you haven't already established a line of communication with residents, please do so, residents@laurentian.ca, and they'll provide you all the information that you need to know. Alors, les résidences pour la Laurentienne seront disponibles pour le déménagement dès le 31 août au 8 septembre. Les étudiants doivent réserver une session d'1 heure pour éménager. Et nous limiterons le déménagement à seulement 2 heures par étudiant. Alors, les informations plus détaillées seront envoyées à l'étudiant en direct si vous avez, ainsi que le lien pour réserver votre place et votre temps d'1 heure. Si vous n'avez pas déjà communiqué ou reçu des informations du bureau de résidence et puis vous avez l'intention de déménager pour la session d'automne, je vous prie de communiquer avec le bureau de résidence en direct par courriel. Leur adresse courriel, c'est le résidence@commercial-laurentienne.ca. All right. Okay, no updates. We'll continue. Okay, so going through the list. Oh, there was a question here about pub. Okay, there we go. So we had a few questions. A few students reach out to us about the pub and when the pub will be reopened. So though we're in stage 3 right now, the pub is actually run by the SGA. So the SGA is going to determine when they want to reopen that. We didn't get a decision from that, and seeing as how phase 3 just opened up on Friday, I'm not sure that the SGA. Thanks, Rock. I'm not sure the SGA has decided on that yet, but I'm sure as soon as they do have a decision, they'll definitely reach out and share the news. So, si ça vous intéresse de connaître quand le pub va être accessible pour la communauté ainsi que la population étudiante, le pub, c'est un établissement qui est géré par l'Association des étudiants, l'Association générale des étudiants, AGE. Et puis, on ne sait pas encore c'est quand la date qu'ils vont réouvrir le pub. Étant que le 3e stage a commencé vendredi, je ne sais pas si ils ont établi une décision ou une date encore, une date concrète, mais si aussitôt qu'ils ont une décision, c'est sûr qu'ils vont partager ça avec la communauté de la Laurentienne. OK, cool. Yeah, quick, perfect. So, au sujet de la semestre d'hiver, l'université n'a pas pris une décision encore, mais ils ont averti la communauté de la Laurentienne qu'ils vont faire parvenir une décision au plus tard au mois d'octobre. Alors, on va savoir un peu plus vers le mois d'octobre. Je ne sais pas s'ils ont une date spécifique, à quel temps en octobre, mais je sais qu'ils ont dit qu'une décision finale va être partagée non seulement avec les étudiants, mais aussi la communauté laurentienne au mois d'octobre. So just to kind of answer that in English, for the winter term, the university hasn't made a decision yet on when or if the campus will reopen 100% for the winter term, but they have informed everyone that the decision will be made no later than October of 2020. So though it is still a few months away, we'll know that. I'm not sure exactly what date. They haven't set a date yet, but they did say no later than October 2020. So look forward to that. All right, just going to hydrate a little bit. With respect to international students in the CBSA, I would encourage that you email international@laurentian.ca. They can definitely provide you a lot more specific information about the CBSA. I don't have that information offhand, but they are experts when it comes to immigration and immigration information, especially now due to the pandemic going on. So if you do have a question about that, please email international@laurentian.ca, and one of our colleagues will get back to you with that. Okay, we're going to go on and kind of talk a little bit about courses and programs. Reduction to fees, I'm not entirely sure about that. I can check to see if it's a question that we have answered here in the list. If you have any questions specific about your fees, you can email fees@laurentian.ca. I'm not sure if there's going to be a reduction of fees or not, but I can tell you that your fees are basically a reflection of the course you have registered in your calendar. So that being said, the fees office will have a bit more information about that for you. Okay, no, we didn't have that question answered. Fees are on the list. Okay, cool. So we'll get there. Jonathan's telling me it's on the list, so we'll find it. Okay, courses and programs. So we got a lot of questions, especially from students who will be pursuing a Bachelor of Science and how those labs will proceed. For the bus pass, I reached out to the SGA, and I'm still waiting a response yet on the bus pass. So I'll talk a little bit about that later on because it is a question that we got there, Jessica. So with respect to labs, like I said, a question we got lots from a lot of students. So there will be a small number of labs that'll be done on campus following social distancing rules, but the majority of them will be facilitated online. Now, I don't have the list of labs that will be offered on campus, unfortunately, I apologize, but you can expect to hear from your faculty about that. Now, once we reach phase 3 of campus, and it should be noted also that phase 3, Laurentian's phase 3 does not necessarily correspond with Sudbury's phase 3, so be mindful of that. Once we reach phase 3 of our reopening, we will resume labs as normal. So again, though Sudbury has kind of reached phase 3 on Friday, that's not a direct reflection of what stages we're at here at Laurentian. That being said, for biology students, more specifically at the undergraduate level, or any student who's be taking biology, I believe it's 1506, first year biology, you would have received an email from the chairperson of the faculty, Dr. James Gagnon. So the biology department has reached out to all their students with a little bit more information with respect to the labs, and it's important that we highlight this, especially if you're a biology student, that your labs for your biology courses will be done remotely. The biology department right now and their lab techs are actually working on a series of videos that will replace their in-person labs for the upcoming fall term. That being said, it's still very important that you register for your laboratory components. So if you're a science-based student, if you're registering for biology 1506 EL, let's say English language or English lecture, you want to register for the lab as well. So that laboratory course code will be biology 1506 ELL. That second L on the end means the lab component. And that lab component there is when you'll see this series of videos. So it's still important that you register for your labs, even though they aren't going to be offered in person for the fall, more specifically to biology. I'm sure the other faculties will be reaching out with instructions on how their labs will operate for the upcoming term. Students. Yeah, so with respect to international students in the RSCC, we ask that you reach out to international@laurentian.ca, and we'll share information about that. So just to kind of repeat that laboratory component in French, alors les laboratoires, il va y avoir un petit nombre de laboratoires de sciences qui seront accessibles sur le campus dès notre tour, suivant les règles de social distancing. Mais la grande majorité des laboratoires vont être effectués d'une façon virtuelle. Alors, c'est important à savoir que quand on parle de la troisième phase de la Laurentienne, c'est pas la troisième phase de la ville du Grand Sudbury. Alors, la ville du Grand Sudbury a commencé leur troisième phase vendredi le 17 juillet. mais nous ne sommes pas là encore à la Laurentienne. Alors, c'est important de vraiment savoir la différence entre les deux. Nous avons reçu un courriel où les étudiants qui vont continuer leurs études en français, ils ont reçu un courriel du département de biologie pour plus d'informations au sujet de leur laboratoire et comment ils vont se faire. Alors, le département de biologie, Dr. James Gagnon, a envoyé un courriel à tous les étudiants pour leur faire savoir que leurs techniciens de laboratoire sont en train maintenant de créer une série de vidéos qui vont appuyer les laboratoires d'une façon virtuelle. C'est super important de savoir si vous avez reçu ce courriel-là, de quand même vous inscrire au temps de laboratoire. Alors, le temps de laboratoire pour ces étudiants au premier cycle, la cote de cours va avoir un deuxième L à la fin. Alors, comme exemple, biologie 1506 FL, ça c'est votre lecture, votre salle de classe, on va dire. Le laboratoire va avoir une cote de cours biologie 1506 FLL. Le deuxième L indique le temps de laboratoire que vous auriez. Si vous voulez déménager à résidence en hiver, c'est absolument possible, oui. Ça serait juste de communiquer avec le bureau de résidence pour établir une ligne de communication entre vous et puis eux pour leur faire savoir que vous voulez reporter votre offre de résidence à la session d'hiver au lieu à la session d'automne, excuse-moi. What do you mean scholarships again? All right, so a question about scholarships and how they're going to be applied to your fees. So if you've received any kind of entrance awards, any kind of scholarships from the university, those will be credited to your account. So depending on how much fees you have to pay for the upcoming, like for your first installment. So let's say if your first installment is $5,000 and you received $4,000, then it would be a credit, like $4,000 of awards. That $4,000 will be credited to your account, but in your second installment. So if you've received more scholarships in your first installment, then it'll take a little bit off your first installment. Otherwise, your credited awards, so let's say if you receive a $1,000 scholarship, that'll be credited towards your second installment, which is usually somewhere in December. With respect to the awards as well, Laurentian University has in-house awards you can apply for through your self-service account. Through your My Laurentian account. So if you visit my.laurentian.ca and check in the processes section, there's going to be an in-house scholarship application that you can complete each term. So for the fall term 2020, you'll be able to apply for that throughout the month of September. And usually, like as a point of reference from last year, I believe that deadline was somewhere around the 6th or the 8th of October. So be mindful of that. And if you're studying 100% course load, that will be an application you can apply for again in January. So check that out. Au sujet des prêts et bourses, alors pour les bourses, le montant de bourse que vous êtes pour recevoir est crédité envers votre compte au deuxième paiement. Alors, si vous à moins que vous avez reçu plus de bourses, plus du montant que vous devez payer, vous êtes pour recevoir un peu un crédit pour la session d'automne. Par contre, si vous avez reçu comme une bourse d'entrée de $1,000, ce montant sera crédité envers votre compte pour le deuxième paiement, qui est souvent au mois de décembre. Deuxièmement, il y a aussi une demande de prêt et bourse que vous voulez faire à travers votre portail Ma Laurentian. Alors, si vous visitez ma.laurentienne.ca, sous la section de processus que vous voyez à la gauche, il va y avoir une demande de prêt et bourse que vous voulez effectuer pendant chaque session. Alors, vous auriez l'occasion de faire ça non seulement à l'automne, mais aussi à l'hiver. Et comme point de référence, l'an passé, pour la session d'automne 2019, la date d'échéance pour faire demande aux bourses était le 6 ou le 8 octobre. Alors, prenez note de ça. Comme j'ai dit dans une couple de semaines, au début du mois de septembre, vous êtes pour recevoir un courriel du bureau de frais et bourses qui indique que la demande est maintenant accessible. So, with respect to books and for online courses, the chances are pretty high that you'll still have a textbook to purchase. You'll have the required list of materials in your course outline. And that's a course outline that you'll receive on the first day of class. So on the first day of class, you'll get basically an entire breakdown, your course outline for your entire course, and it'll tell you right there what course or what books you need to purchase. If you're curious about knowing what books you need sooner than later, you can reach out to your prof if they've completed the course outline. They might be able to let you know sooner than later, but for the most part, you'd have a textbook to purchase. So with respect to the GTAs for Master of Science international students, you can email the graduate students office and they can let you know basically how it's going to roll out. I believe it's Dana Hicks, Dana, Dayna Hicks, Hicks. That'd be the contact person you want to reach out to in the faculty of graduate studies, and they'll be able to let you know how those GTAs are going to roll out. So the awards are based on your average. So those entrance awards you would have received in year 2, if your average slid below the requirement, then you will no longer receive the awards. Tutors are available still online, so Laurentian students can visit laurentian.tutoration.com, and that's an online platform that's basically secure to the Laurentian community, and it's from a startup company in Ottawa, TutorOcean. So that will allow you to have like virtual classroom sessions with a tutor. So we have over 50 tutors on the platform now, covering over 450 courses. So if you're looking for tutoring, those services are still available. Alors, le service de tutorat est encore disponible pour nos étudiants. La plateforme, ça serait laurentian.tutoration.com. Et puis, vous pouvez effectuer la traduction dans la langue française aussi si vous avez besoin de tuteur en français. C'est un service qui est offert à travers le Centre d'excellence universitaire. Alors, si vous avez besoin du tutorat, c'est un service que vous pouvez effectuer une salle de classe virtuelle. Alors, de cette façon-là, si vous avez besoin de service, c'est encore disponible, même si vous n'êtes pas en personne. Yeah, there will be definitely a plan for international students in terms of mandatory self-isolation. We're still working on that. We're kind of just dotting our I's, crossing our T's on some of the final touches, but that information will be sent out to students very shortly because there is a mandatory plan that we not only have to share from the university, but also provide to provincial government in terms of like where those students will be going. So that information for international students will be coming out very shortly. Alors, si vous êtes étudiante internationale, vous auriez le plan de comme genre self-isolation très bientôt. Alors, c'est un document que nous sommes en train de terminer. Et puis, les étudiants que nous avons sur la liste qui ont déclaré qu'ils vont arriver ici à Sudbury pour effectuer leurs études à l'automne seront communiqués en direct. Is there any help for flight fees? I don't believe there is any support for that. I know there is some awards you can apply for, but for the most part, international students would have the opportunity to apply for those in the second year. But you can communicate international at laurentian.ca, and we'll check the list and see if there's something available for that. Okay, so another question we had. I'm kind of getting caught up there in the live chat here, but keep those questions coming. Like I said, my colleague Jonathan is here to support that as well. Okay, cool. So, une autre question que nous avons reçue de vous, c'est si le semestre entier serait offert en ligne. Alors oui, la grande majorité des cours seront offerts par l'apprentissage en ligne et à distance. Nous avons une petite liste de cours qui sont offerts sur le campus en option qui sera ajouté sur le site web. Alors, si je ne me trompe pas, le département de stratégie digitale ont partagé aussi sur les médias sociaux cette liste, mais vous pouvez aussi trouver la liste sur le site de la Laurentian. Si je ne me trompe pas, sur la page d'accueil, il va y avoir comme une liste de questions et réponses au sujet de COVID. Alors, vous pouvez checker cette liste-là pour voir quels cours qui sont disponibles sur le campus. Si vous êtes inscrit à un cours de 6 crédits qui sera offert avec une salle de classe virtuelle à l'automne, votre salle de classe virtuelle va continuer à l'hiver, peu importe si vous êtes permis pour arriver sur le campus. Alors ça, c'est très, très important à savoir. Surtout pour les étudiants qui sont toujours à distance. Vous avez vraiment l'occasion un peu unique dans le sens que maintenant que nos sessions sont offertes dans une salle de classe virtuelle, vous pouvez maintenant participer avec vos collègues dans cet environnement. Alors, sachez que si vous êtes un étudiant à distance, ou même si vous n'êtes pas, mais vous êtes parmi pour retourner au campus à l'hiver, votre cours de 6 crédits qui a commencé dans une salle de classe virtuelle va continuer de la même façon. Super important. So, to reiterate in English, will the whole semester be online? The answer is no, not the entire semester. We will have a very short list of courses that will be available on campus. So if you want to check out that list, you can look online, Laurentian.ca, and under the COVID Q&A, that list of courses available on campus as an option are presented there for students. So that being said, it is important to know that if you registered for a 6-credit course and it started kind of remote delivery in the fall, it will continue as a remote delivery course in the winter, even though you're permitted to arrive and get back onto campus in the winter term. So that's super important to know, because even as online students who've always studied online, who've always been distance education students, now you're fortunate in a sense that you can engage in a virtual classroom, whereas it wasn't necessarily or always an option before. So if you're available during these course or class sections, it is important to know that if you're registering for the 6-credit course and students on campus are permitted to return, this class will still continue its remote learning virtually. So don't be worried that if you're registering for this section, remote delivery, whether or not it will continue remote. So you won't have to force yourself to be on the campus if you don't want to, if you're registering for that 6-credit course. That's a great question, by the way. All right. Can I scroll down here and see? Oh, okay, cool. Okay, cool. Thanks for getting that one, Jonathan. All right, so another question we got was education placements. So being aware of the fact that students who are following the Con Ed program, the concurrent education program, do have these placements as part of their program. So phase 1 and 2, remote only placements, practicums, and experiential learning, unless required by the accreditation guidelines. So respecting the guidelines of placement in terms of social distancing and precautionary measures. Phase 3, placements, practicums, and experiential learnings return to the pre-COVID state. Alors, phase 1 et 2, les stages, apprentissage et l'expérience et à distance seulement, à moins que les lignes directrices d'agrément exigent une présence, en respectant les lignes directrices du lieu du stage en matière de destination physique et prenant des précautions. Et phase 3, ça serait que les stages et l'apprentissage par l'expérience reprennent comme avant le COVID-19. So that's important to know if you're going into Con Ed or really any other program that has experiential learning or co-op placements. Okay, how will exams be facilitated? That's a good question as well. If you're a student who's returning and used to writing your exams in the Ben Avery gym, that won't be the case for the fall of 2020. So details regarding your exams will be shared by your professor at the beginning of your course and could be provided in your course outline. So normally that information isn't offered in your course outline because it's a schedule that's sent to you from the registrar's office. But rest assured that you will not be required to write your exam at a specific exam location for the fall 2020 term. If you're registered for an online course, so courses that are ending in a 10 or a 12 or a 40, you will receive an exam schedule from the registrar's office. These exams will take place in December, and you'll receive the exam schedule sometime in October. Please be mindful, again, that you won't be required, even as an online or distance education student, to write your exam in a specific exam location. like you would have pre-COVID. So be mindful of that you'll get those details from your professor at the beginning of your course, and it might be in your course outline. Alors, les détails de vos examens seront partagés de votre professeur au début de votre cours, et c'est aussi possible qu'il ajoute ces détails dans le syllabus de cours que vous êtes pour recevoir dès la première journée de votre cours. Alors, si vous êtes en train de suivre un cours en ligne, un cours qui termine avec la code 10, 12 ou 40, sachez que vous êtes pour recevoir votre horaire d'examen du bureau du registre quelque temps au mois d'octobre. C'est-à-dire aussi que vous n'auriez pas besoin de vous déplacer pour écrire votre examen à un lieu spécifique. OK, alors pour les cours, les sciences biomédicales, alors les cours là seront en ligne et puis votre laboratoire de sciences sera effectué de façon virtuelle. Alors c'est important que vous êtes encore inscrit au temps de laboratoire. Par contre, vous êtes pour recevoir une série de vidéos qui va appuyer votre laboratoire au lieu d'y être en personne. Et puis pour payer vos frais de scolarité comme étudiant ou étudiante internationale, vous pouvez effectuer votre paiement à travers de Flywire. Alors, Flywire, c'est une compagnie de troisième partie qui appuie l'échange d'argent pour les étudiants et les étudiantes internationales de la Laurentienne. Alors, si vous visitez, peut-être Jonathan peut ajouter le lien dans le clavardage, mais si vous voulez visiter laurentienne.ca, sous la section internationale, il va y avoir un lien en direct d'où vous pouvez visiter le site de Flywire. Alors, just to kind of repeat in English, if you are studying... Oh my God, a human. If you're studying in the biology programs, like I said, your labs will be done remotely, and you won't have any in-classroom sessions. That being said, if you'd like to exchange funds and pay for your fees as a Laurentian international student, you can visit Flywire. So Flywire is a third-party company that will facilitate the transfer of funds for international students. You can find that information on the Laurentian website under the international student section, and maybe Jonathan can go there and kind of share that link in the chat for everybody too, because it is a question that we do get quite often. But yeah, rest assured that there is support there for that. Flywire is a pretty good company, and normally when we're on campus, they'll actually find themselves here and support students in person. There you go, right on. Thanks a lot, Jonathan. But graduation 2021, I don't know if that question or that answer has been added, and I noticed that you put it in there twice. I remember hearing that they're still working on a graduation plan. I'm not sure exactly where they're at with that. I'm just looking through the list to see if there's a question or answer about that. Okay, I don't see anything here, but maybe Jonathan can check to see if it's in the if it's on the site. I'm not sure exactly where they're at with the planning in terms of graduation 2021. But if you did graduate, congratulations. Welcome to the real world. Is there a possibility of in-person classes to resume if things get better? So that was, again, a pretty popular question that we got from a lot of students. So I'll repeat that in both languages, but we'll start in English. So we have, like I said, a 3-phase plan. And this 3-phase plan does not reflect the same plan that the greater city of Sudbury is currently operating under. If you were a resident of Sudbury, you would have heard that stage 3 opened up on Friday, but we're not at stage 3 here at Laurentian yet. Perfect. Thanks, Jonathan. So once we reach phase 3, still to be determined based on public health and government protocols, things will have returned to normal, quote unquote normal pre-COVID. The decision to determine that method of delivery for the winter semester will be made at the Laurentian University Senate meeting in October. So like I said, we're going to get that decision as to whether or not we return in the fall, sometime in October. But just know that the decision has already been made with respect to how courses will operate for the fall 2020. So with that being said, almost every course will be done remotely for the upcoming term, with the exception of a small list, like I said, that can be shared and found on the website. But yeah, we'll find out more in October as to when or if we can return in the winter term. So though things are getting better, And they are really getting better. So thanks for everyone who's like staying safe out there and using the proper protocols and wearing your masks outdoors and stuff like that. That's great. Definitely flattening curve with everyone's efforts there. And though things are getting better right now, we're going to stick to the decision of operating the way we are for the fall term and then see how things go for the 2021 winter. Okay, so we're going to have to follow up and get in touch with respect to the graduation. So there hasn't really been anything made public on the website with respect to their plans. I know they're in the planning stages, and it probably depends on whether or not we can gather in larger groups. So I'm sure there's something in place for that. We will look into it, I'll look into it, and we'll find a way to share that information. Maybe we'll do like another Instagram story and share that. Okay. What will be open? Yeah, so this video is we're going to put this video live on Facebook and on YouTube as well, so you guys can always come back and find these answers. You can also visit Laurentian.ca, and on the homepage is the COVID question and answers. So that's a running document that's live with a bunch of community members here at Laurentian, and as soon as they have information there, they update that accordingly. Okay, so just to finish up, kind of got sidetracked there. Is there a possibility, y a-t-il une possibilité que les choses ici sur campus résument, même si les choses chez le COVID vont bien? L'université a déjà fait leur décision au sujet de la session d'automne 2020. Alors, la grande majorité des cours seront offerts à distance pour l'automne. Par contre, l'université va partager leur décision après leur réunion de Sénat qui va avoir lieu au mois d'octobre. Alors, on va en savoir plus au sujet de ce qui va se passer pour la session d'hiver 2021. Pour l'instant, la session d'automne va continuer comme nous l'avons déjà partagé à la population étudiante, que la grande majorité des cours vont être offerts de façon virtuelle. OK. Okay, so a couple questions from international students, and we'll answer those. So, une des premières questions que nous avons reçues, puis c'est une question qu'on reçoit assez souvent, c'est que si vous voulez reporter votre décision d'admission à l'hiver. Alors, si vous aimeriez reporter votre offre de l'automne à l'hiver 2021, c'est absolument possible. Par contre, vous auriez besoin d'accepter votre offre à la Laurentienne pour la session d'automne afin qu'on puisse reporter votre offre pour la session d'hiver. Alors, ça serait de communiquer avec le bureau des admissions, admission@laurentienne.ca, et puis ils vont vous partager un lien d'où vous pouvez remplir vos informations pour effectuer votre décision ou votre demande de reporter votre demande d'admission. So if you're an international student or any student really and you'd like to defer your offer for the winter term, you'd have to first accept your offer for the fall and then reach out to the admissions office and ask to defer their offer. They'll most likely respond to you with a form where you complete your information in order to kind of make that request official. So if you're wondering about how to defer, you'd have to first accept and then reach out to the admissions office, admissions@laurentian.ca, and at that point there, they'll be able to defer your offer to the winter term if you'd like. Les inscriptions aux cours sont clôturées quand? Okay. Yeah, thanks a lot, Jonathan. Admissions, because there's always that S at the end that some people kind of miss sometimes there. So, admissions with an S at laurentian.ca ou à laurentian.ca. Les inscriptions aux cours sont clôturées quand? Alors, l'inscription de cours pour la session d'automne termine le 18 septembre. Sachez que l'inscription de cours est déjà accessible, ça fait depuis le 15 juin. Et même si la date d'échéance pour faire l'inscription de cours pour la session d'automne, automne-hiver, est le 18, on suggère fortement que vous complétez votre inscription avant ce temps pour assurer que les cours ne se remplissent pas. Même si nous sommes dans une salle de classe sur un environnement virtuel pour l'automne, il y a certains cours qui vont avoir un maximum de sièges. Alors, c'est important, si vous voulez vraiment assurer que l'inscription est complétée à 100%, d'effectuer votre inscription. Si vous avez besoin de l'appui à comment naviguer votre inscription de cours ou la plateforme libre-service, vous pouvez envoyer un courriel à orientation.laurentian.ca. Nous avons encore 3 sessions d'inscription qui vont appuyer la plateforme libre-service qui seront offertes pendant le mois d'août. Alors aussi, nous avons une bourse d'études de 500 $ qui va être envoyée à un étudiant qui a complété l'inscription de cours avant le 8 août. Alors, nous avons une deuxième vague de prix qui vont se lancer. C'est la bourse bleue. Alors, nous avons déjà envoyé les informations et choisi le gagnant pour la bourse d'or qu'on va annoncer bientôt. Alors, nous avons la bourse bleue qui a une date d'échéance à l'inscription de cours avant le 8 juin pour ajouter votre nom dans le tirage pour le 500 $. So the last day to register for fall term courses or fall winter term courses is September 18th. That being said, to ensure that your courses are not full, your required courses more specifically, we encourage that you complete course registration before that. Course registration was open and has been open since June 15th. So that being said, you can go there now through your self-service account and register for your courses. One thing to be mindful of, if you need support when registering or navigating your self-service platform, you can reach out to orientation@laurentian.ca. And at that point there, we can give you information to register for one of our registration clinics. We have 3 more in English, 3 in French that are happening in the month of August. So we'd be more than happy to support that with you and for you. Otherwise, you can go through self-service and register for your courses and simply follow your progress there. And like I said as well, we do have that $500 award that's going out for students who register before the 8th of August. So we did have the gold package award that went out. The recipients and the winners have been chosen. We'll be sharing that information soon. But we also have the blue bursary that's available. It's a $500 scholarship credit towards your account for students who register before the 8th of August. OK, justement là, ça, si vous avez besoin de l'appui à l'inscription de cours, vous pouvez envoyer un courriel orientation@laurentian.ca et puis on peut vous appuyer. C'est possible qu'on se met 1 à 1 à travers Zoom pour effectuer le lancement de votre portail. Si vous avez besoin de l'appui, orientation@laurentian.ca, on peut vous aider. When will Canada resume flights from India? So that's not really a question that we can answer. The only piece of advice that we could share is just to check in with the Canadian and government in India to see when their borders will be open to each other. Alors, with the borders closing, it's tough to say. I know students who had a study visa permitted before the 18th of March have been given permission to fly to Sudbury, find themselves here on campus to continue their studies. That being said, there will be a quarantine plan in place, and from the conversations that I've had with colleagues, they're going to be pretty strict on that. So the International Student Office will definitely be reaching out to students, those students who've received a study permit before the 18th of March, to communicate what that quarantine plan looks like and what students will have to do in order to get here safely. Alors, juste pour appuyer la question aussi en français, si vous avez reçu un permis d'études et vous êtes un étudiant, une étudiante internationale, si vous avez reçu votre permis d'études avant le 18 mars 2020, vous auriez besoin, vous seriez capable et permis de visiter la Laurentienne pour continuer vos études en passant à l'automne. Par contre, il y a un plan de quarantine qui est pas mal assez strict. Alors, pour les étudiantes qui désirent arriver ici à Sudbury, qui ont reçu leur permis avant le 18 mars, vous pouvez envoyer un courriel international à laurentian.ca, international@laurentian.ca, and we'll communicate that quarantine plan with you. So in terms of like borders and stuff, like flights from different countries, just check with the government website. They'll let you know what's permitted. J'avais payé ma garde, ma place. Je n'ai pas de visa. Okay, so une autre question d'un étudiant ou une étudiante internationale. J'ai payé pour garder ma place jusqu'à maintenant, mais je n'ai pas de visa. C'est quoi la procédure? Alors, si vous êtes un étudiant ou une étudiante internationale et puis vous n'avez pas reçu votre permis d'études, mais vous avez effectué votre demande, vous avez accepté votre choix, vous pouvez quand même continuer vos études à distance pour la session d'automne 2020 et on vous prie de continuer avec votre demande de visa. C'est très possible que, étant les frontières sont fermées et plusieurs services sont limités maintenant, qu'il y a un plus grand délai que d'habitude au sujet des permis d'études. Alors, continuez à communiquer avec les contacts que vous avez à ce sujet. Et puis, comme j'ai dit, vous auriez la permission de commencer au moins vos études à l'automne en ligne. So if you've not yet received your study permit, but you've accepted your offer and you paid your deposit, you can still study from your home country. So be aware of that. You don't necessarily have to be on campus. And the reason you're experiencing delays with your study visa, possibly, is because with everything going on in the pandemic, worldwide, some services are experiencing a delay more than others. So that could be a reason why you haven't heard back with respect to your study permit. So again, you can begin your studies online from your home country, and we just encourage that you continue with that study application and get in touch with those contact people that you have in order to get a bit of an update there. The COVID here is real. Okay, so we've got some questions with respect to student life, and we'll go through some of those. Again, you guys are doing a pretty great job of sharing your own questions right now in the chat, and thanks, Jonathan, for supporting those. When course selection deadline? Course selection deadline, Craig, is the 19th or 18th of September. It's the last add job date for the fall and fall-winter term 2020. That being said, course registration has been open since the 15th of June, so if you want a little bit more information on that, you can visit your self-service account through my.laurentian.ca. And if you need any support with course registration, you can email orientation@laurentian.ca. And if you need specific course advice, you can email academicadvising@laurentian.ca. Their academic advisors are really experts when it comes to changing programs, selecting or declaring a major or minor. So if you need help specifically to that, they can help you out with that. Okay, so student life. What are your plans for student events? There's a lot of clubs and associations that have social media platforms on Facebook and Instagram and stuff. So if you want to tune in to see what they're up to, you can visit laurentian.ca. And on their website, you can visit your student association. And they usually have their own independent site that's linked to the website. And they'll show you all the clubs and associations that they have under their umbrella and how you can participate with that. So, si ça vous intéresse de participer à la vie étudiante de façon virtuelle, les associations étudiantes, souvent ils ont leurs propres médias sociaux. Alors, on vous encourage de visiter leur compte pour voir qu'est-ce qu'ils vont offrir. Et comme toujours, vous pouvez visiter laurentien.ca/orientation, laurentian.ca/orientation, and basically we'll be able to share kind of up-to-date events and activities. But like I said, for the most part, it'll be either video on demand or virtual. Right, just gonna knock this question off the list here. Hey, thanks for coming back, guys. All right, so will Laurentian provide any support to clubs that we're trying with students remotely? So a lot of Laurentian clubs have social media platforms, like I said, and if you're looking to start your own club, or if you want to support your own club, you can reach out to the association directly. I know they have funding to start clubs, so I'm not sure exactly what the process is for that in terms of starting your own club, but you're encouraged to visit your student association's website, and then through there, they can let you know how to go about that process. Alors, plusieurs clubs, comme j'ai dit déjà, ont une plateforme virtuelle. Si ça vous intéresse de commencer votre propre club, les associations ont des fonds à livrer pour ces activités. Alors, ça serait tout simplement de communiquer avec votre association, votre association étudiante, et puis ils pourront vous faire parvenir les informations nécessaires afin de continuer avec ça. Perfect. Cool. Thanks, Jonathan. I did save it to the IGTV. IGTV. Whatever. Okay. Everyone's waving at me. Hi. The bookstore accessible. So the bookstore is open now. So there is somebody working in the bookstore. It's not open to the public, but they're doing and offering curbside pickup. So if you've ordered a textbook or you will be ordering textbooks, you can pick them up here on campus in front of the Parker building. And if you prefer having them sent to your address, you can just put in a shipping address and they'll send it out to you. We'll be able to access the Parker building and library for study rooms. So accessing the campus will be part of stage 3. So just supporting the question that you have, Megan. For students that'll be on residence, living in residence come September, there's going to be a plan in place for you, and the residence office will certainly communicate that. As you can see, if you're familiar with campus, I'm in the Parker building now in the atrium in one of those study rooms, and I've been granted special permission to be here just for the sake of this Instagram Live. So kudos and thanks to everyone who will help make that happen. But there will certainly be a plan for those who are in residence and where you can go and study if you're going to be on campus in the fall. I just saw a question here. Is the library accessible? So the library is going to, full opening of the library will be part of stage 3. And also, I know the archives, like I said before at the beginning of the first video, the archives will be open to researchers. And then once phase 3 opens up, then the library will be accessible. Do you know when the move-in date? Yeah, absolutely. So with respect to residence, Cole, move-in will start on the 31st of August until September 8th. The residence office will communicate that information with you. Students will have to reserve an hour time slot to move in. You'll be limited to 2 helpers a person. If you haven't heard from residents yet, we encourage that you reach out and they'll be able to provide you a link where you can actually reserve your 1 hour time slot. Residents at Laurentian.ca, and they'll be able to help you out. If they haven't already reached out to you, if they have, keep that communication going. And if not, reach out to them, give them a heads up that you're ready to start planning, and they'll help you out accordingly. Hey, Sing. Maybe drop that message off into orientation@Laurentian.ca. I'm not exactly sure what program you're referring to, so there could be a little conversation to be had in order to support the courses that you're looking to take for the fall. So orientation@Laurentian.ca, and we'll answer your question there. It's going to be a bit of a detailed one specific to your case and your program. Bookstore, yeah, so bookstore, okay, cool. La boutique. Ok, je peux répéter en français. La boutique de campus, la librairie, pour acheter vos livres, est ouverte, mais seulement pour les demandes en ligne pour la session d'automne, ainsi que curbside pickup. Ramassez vos livres à la bordure. Alors, il y a quelqu'un qui travaille à la librairie maintenant, et puis c'est eux qui vont vraiment prendre toutes les commandes. Si vous avez besoin d'acheter vos livres et faire ça à travers la librairie, vous pouvez trouver le site web sur le site de la Laurentian. So if you visit Laurentian.ca and just type in Laurentian Bookstore, it'll be one of the first links that come up. Alors, si vous êtes en ligne, ça serait de trouver laurentian.ca et sous la barre de recherche, simplement taper librairie ou bookstore, Laurentian Bookstore, et puis vous aurez la ligne en direct. All right, so we're going into some residence questions, and then we have some questions here lined up about tuition and fees, so we'll get to that. Okay, so what rules will be there concerning students and residents? So we're installing new signage and arrows in our residence buildings to educate students about social distancing guidelines. Many of these will be similar to what you've seen in our communities. I believe the residence office kind of went live. I'm not sure if it was an Instagram or a Facebook story, but they were showing some of the arrows they have lined up on the floor. And they have very much the same arrows, one-directional arrows to direct the flow of traffic. Even, for example, to get upstairs on the second floor of the atrium, I had to go up the staircase past liaison. So I wasn't able, well, I guess I technically could have, but I didn't want to break the rules because we must abide by the rules. The staircase behind me is directional arrow going down, whereas if you wanted to go up the stairs, you'd have to go up in the staircase near the Laurentian hub. So just stuff like that you'll see. There's going to be posters on the doors in both languages, English and French, directing the flow of traffic. Alors pour appuyer les étudiants qui vont habiter en résidence à l'automne, nous avons installé des nouvelles signalisations, des flèches dans nos bâtiments ainsi que dans les résidences pour informer les étudiants sur les directives de manière pour la distinction sociale. Beaucoup entre eux, c'est très semblable que ce que vous avez déjà vu dans vos communautés. Et puis, vous allez pouvoir voir des flèches sur le plancher, pas mal dans tous les édifices. Alors, comme exemple, quand je me suis rendu ici sur le campus, lorsque j'ai rentré dans l'édifice Parker pour montrer la grande escalier, c'est là que je passe dans les escaliers à passer liaison près du hub Laurentian afin de monter au deuxième étage. Et puis, la grande escalier que vous voyez dans le centre d'accueil derrière moi, c'est l'escalier pour descendre. Alors, il va y avoir des flèches pour vraiment diriger le trafic lorsque vous êtes de retour. What are the bookstores out of stock? Kendra McMillan, if the bookstore is out of stock, you can reach out to them. I know it's possible that they're going to be getting shipments of books coming in. I know there was a delay for that, especially during the spring term, but they've ironed out all that for the most part already. If it's out of stock, it's possible that the book is coming in. So maybe reach out to the bookstore. I think it's bookstore@laurentian.ca. There's definitely going to be the proper address. Oh, thanks, Jonathan. Laurentian@bookstore.com. You can let them know what book you're looking for, and they'll let you know when it's going to be coming in. Do I prefer him? That's a tough question. Spider-Man, maybe? It's a tough call. Very tough call. I'm not big into the Marvel stuff, but I'll say Spider-Man just for nostalgia. Tobey Maguire was the best Spider-Man, by the way. Tuition and fees. So will tuition be the same even though all classes are online? So it's a question we got a lot. It's a question we got a couple times in the chat already today. So yes, the value of your degree remains the same, and our faculty members have been working really hard over the course of the summer to assign new courses and courses that will engage their students through the online remote delivery. That being said, it is important to know also that our professors also have 3 hours of office hours a week that they have to commit to their students. So obviously now this will be a little bit different, knowing that you can't visit them in their actual class or their actual office. But you still have access to your professors, whether you're studying remotely, in person, or online via distance education. So know that those services are still available to you. The academic services in terms of the writing assistance is still available to you. Tutoring services are still available to you remotely. So the only real big difference is that you're studying at the comfort of your own home. So be mindful of that. So there won't be, tuition fees will be the same, and your tuitions are a reflection of the courses you have registered in your schedule. So if you don't have 100% course load, then your fees will be a little bit different than what they're posted up online. Alors, pour répondre, si vos frais de scolarité seront les mêmes, même si tous vos classes seront en ligne, la réponse c'est oui. Alors, les professeurs sont en train de travailler fort cet été pour concevoir des cours qui engageront leurs étudiants grâce à la livraison en ligne et à distance. Alors, vous avez aussi tous les services qui sont accessibles pour vous. Le service de rédaction est encore accessible pour vous à travers le Centre d'excellence universitaire. Le service de tutorat aussi sera disponible pour vous, comme il était toujours. One thing that we'll also mention in terms of your student services is that you still have access to accessibility services. That's the service that you have access to, though we are remote. You still have access to counseling services. These are free services available to you as students. The career and employment service is still available. If you're on campus, we still have the health clinic that'll be open. Alors, même si vous êtes en train de compléter vos cours à distance, sachez que les services qui sont habituellement accessibles pour vous sur le campus sont encore accessibles pour vous d'une façon virtuelle. Alors, si vous avez besoin des services de counseling, les services d'accessibilité, les services d'emploi sont tous quand même disponibles pour vous. La clinique de santé, pour ceux qui arriveront sur le campus à l'automne, sera encore ouverte et est encore ouverte pour ceux qui habitent en résidence présentement. Alors, sachez que vous ne perdez pas vraiment rien au sujet des services. Par contre, évidemment, vous auriez la livraison un peu différente pour la session d'automne. Okay, so we got the question a couple times, at least one time in the chat, I noticed it, with respect to the bus pass and classes being remote. So this is a good question for your student association, whether it be the SGA ou l'Association des étudiants francophones, AF. Seeing as how you're paying for, and the subscription that you have to your bus pass is a full year membership, I'm not sure it'll be refunded 100%. So reach out to the SGA and or the IAF to see what their plan is for that. We reached out to them on Friday afternoon. My bad with that. It came in a little bit late and haven't received an answer yet. But just rest assured that they do have a plan and they will be announcing that and sharing that with their students accordingly. Okay, there's still a couple questions that we have here. So with respect to the parking refund from last year, you'd want to email parking@laurentian.ca. They'll let you know whether or not you qualify or are able to get a reimbursement from if you've left early last year. Start applying for OSAP. So if you haven't already applied for OSAP, you can definitely apply for OSAP already for the 2021 academic year. So you'd apply through OSAP's website. I believe it's just Google OSAP. I think it's osap.ca, but on the OSAP site, you can do kind of an estimate of what you're doing and based on your financial situation. And also make sure that if it's on a default setting already, make sure that you have the fees paid to the university. So if you're applying for OSAP and you're receiving OSAP funding, those fees get paid directly to the institution, Laurentian University. And if you've got that set up, you won't have to pay your first installment on August 10th. So super important if you're applying for OSAP and receiving OSAP and those funds are being paid directly to the institution, that we'll wait for the OSAP funding to come in order to credit your first installment. Alors, si vous voulez appuyer pour le RAFEO, la demande de RAFEO est accessible pour l'année académique 2020-2021. Alors, je vous prie d'accéder au site web afin de faire demande. C'est important aussi de savoir aussi si vous avez fait demande pour le RAFEO et puis vous avez reçu un montant d'aide financière, d'appui financier 2, assurez-vous que dans votre demande, vous avez indiqué que vous voulez que les frais soient payés directement à l'université. De cette façon-là, si vous l'avez fait, vous n'auriez pas besoin à compléter le premier dépôt dès le 10 août. On va attendre que les frais soient payés à l'université avant de créditer votre compte. Alors, si vous voulez éviter le premier versement au mois d'août, complétez votre demande de RAFEO et plus tôt que plus tard, parce que nous sommes déjà le 20 juillet. Alors, la session d'automne va commencer très, très bientôt. Les cours seront... Est-ce que les équipes sportives seront actives? Alors, pour les équipes sportives, sont annulées pour la session d'automne. Alors, quand ça vient au sport interuniversitaire, c'est annulé pour la session d'automne. On encourage toujours à nos athlètes de continuer leur entraînement physique. C'est possible qu'on retourne au sport interuniversitaire au mois de janvier pour la session d'hiver, mais ce n'est pas encore déterminé. Alors, ça serait plus ou moins au corps de... OUA Sports, je ne sais pas c'est quoi la traduction en français, mais c'est vraiment le corps interuniversitaire athlétique pour la province de l'Ontario. Eux vont faire une décision, qu'est-ce qu'ils vont faire. So with respect to sport teams, OUA Sports on pause for the 2020 fall term. So, if you're looking at catching your visa in action for the upcoming term, unfortunately, we'll have to wait a little bit longer. If any athletes are out there, we're encouraging you, and I'm sure you've heard back from your coaches already, but we're encouraging that you continue with your physical training, and then that way there, hopefully we can see you back in action come January. So I think there's just like one more question with respect to orientation, and we'll answer that one there. And if there's not any other questions, I'll sign off after that. So with respect to orientation, like I mentioned a couple other times, our orientation plan is posted, kind of live update, laurentian.ca/orientation. We plan on still offering a very robust programming for our students for Welcome Week and Orientation Week. We've been planning that for already a couple of months, so everything's finally coming around. And we've already posted some updates on that site with respect to the activities that are coming up. We are pushing more towards a remote delivery, obviously virtual sessions, but also offering those on demand, just so that students aren't kind of plugged on the screen time for longer than they have to be, knowing that, of course, your courses will be remote. We want to, allow you to engage in these sessions at your convenience. So there is the Smart Start program. So we are offering an Introduction to University course called A6 1006, and that's to help you prepare for the academic life in university. So for the first time, last year we offered it for the first time before September. So if you're interested in taking this course, it starts on August 10th and runs for 2 weeks, finishes at the end of the week on August 17th, where you'll be engaged in a virtual classroom for 2 hours a day, 9 a.m. till 11 a.m. Like I said, for those 2 weeks, so the week of August 10th and the week of August 17th. And this is basically a University 101 course, right? So it's going to teach you very good learning, like how to learn in university, how to manage your time, how to manage your stress, how to write a university essay, how to research a library database. So we feel it's important that you know these skills before you actually set foot and get started in your studies come September. So that's why we're offering this 3-credit course. So it's still a 3-credit course. And the goal here is to offer this 3-credit course in August, so that you have 1 course less in the fall, and that really, again, reinforces that smooth transition to university. So also that way there, you get to learn all these abilities, and then you can put them in action come September when you're ready for this course. Is it available for grad students? There is a course that's available for grad students. It's A6 5006. So you'd want to look it up in self-service under the subject. If you're looking in your course catalog, under the subject Center for Academic Excellence. It's pretty much the only course that doesn't correspond with the subject. So it's ACEX 1006. If you're at the undergraduate level, it's 1006. If you're at the graduate level, it's 5006. And like I said, it's offered for 2 weeks in August, starting the 10th, and 2 hours a day, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. So we strongly encourage that you apply for that. From the way that it was designed in the past, there's no final exam, but there is like a portfolio that's to be submitted. Last year, and again, this might be different, but last year in the fall of 2019, the portfolio was due sometime in October, so the professor will certainly let you know what the deadline is. But again, just reinforcing that smooth transition to university. Alors au sujet de l'orientation, nous avons la programmation qui va être offerte. Cool, thanks Jonathan. Qui va être offerte non seulement d'une façon virtuelle, mais aussi en direct. Alors les sessions qu'on anime, on va les enregistrer pour ensuite monter en ligne. De cette façon-là, vous n'êtes pas nécessairement engagé à tout le temps. C'est plus ou moins lorsque ça vous convienne pour ces sessions spécifiques. Nous avons aussi un cours qui commence le 10 août. C'est A6 1006. Alors ce cours, ACEX 1006 au premier cycle. Alors si vous êtes un étudiant au bac, si vous êtes un étudiant à la maîtrise, ACEX 5006. Ça se trouve dans le sujet Centre d'excellence universitaire ou Center for Academic Excellence dans le catalogue de cours sur votre plateforme de libre service. Alors, ce cours, vraiment, c'est un cours qui va vous apprendre comment avoir mieux d'habiletés, renforcer vos habiletés d'apprentissage au niveau universitaire. Alors, ça va vous démontrer comment écrire une thèse universitaire, comment écrire un examen universitaire, comment bien faire de la recherche universitaire, l'appui à la rédaction, la gestion de temps, la gestion du stress. Et pour la première fois, c'est offert dans 2 semaines consécutives pour 2 heures le matin, 9 heures le matin jusqu'à 11 heures le matin, qui commence le 10 août et la semaine du 17 août. Alors, de cette façon-là, si ça vous intéresse de prendre ce cours, c'est un cours de 3 crédits. Et puis, le but vraiment, c'est d'éviter d'avoir un autre cours à l'automne. Alors, vous prenez ce cours au mois d'août. Ça vous permet de prendre un cours de moins à l'automne pour encore renforcer une transition agréable à l'université si c'est la première fois pour vous. Si vous avez des questions à ce sujet, vous pouvez envoyer un courriel orientation@laurentian.ca. So if you have questions about this, you can email orientation@laurentian.ca and we'll be happy to provide more information about that. So I'm just taking a look here at their running list of questions. We had about a 12 or 13 page document, and it seems like we've answered pretty much every question on the list. I'll give it a few minutes if there's anyone who have questions to throw them up in the chat. Is booking a university tour still available? So you can't book a tour in person, but if you visit Laurentian.ca, you can find a virtual tour. And if you email liaison@laurentian.ca, they can send you the direct link and even meet with one of the recruiters to either go through it one-on-one virtually. I'm sure they'd be open to doing that. But we do have a virtual campus tour that's online. So, I mean, of course, it's not the same as being here in person, but it was updated recently. And I gave the virtual tour virtually through Zoom, and it was actually pretty cool. So I encourage you to check that out. And if you have any questions about the virtual campus tour, you can email liaison@laurentian.ca. They'd be more than happy to support that. Alors, si ça vous intéresse de faire une tournée du campus, et tant que le campus est fermé, vous n'êtes pas permis à rentrer pour une tournée 1 à 1 ou tournée de groupe. Par contre, si vous envoyez un courriel liaison@laurentian.ca, ils peuvent vous envoyer le lien direct au site web. Donc, nous avons une tournée de campus virtuelle. Alors, de cette façon-là, si ça vous intéresse de visiter et naviguer le campus vous-même, même si vous voulez avoir de l'appui d'un de mes collègues au bureau de liaison, c'est sûr qu'il peut vous rejoindre par Zoom afin de faire comme une tournée du campus virtuelle d'une façon virtuelle. Alors oui, liaison@laurentian.ca peut vous aider. All right, so I don't see any other questions coming up, but I do want to thank everybody who took the chance to not only tune in live, but also share your questions. J'aimerais remercier tous ceux d'entre vous qui ont participé à la session aujourd'hui, qui ont posé vos questions et vous vraiment garder engagés à travers le campus. Évidemment, notre équipe, on fait notre effort de vous garder engagés avec les informations qui nous retournent. I'd like to also thank all my colleagues, those who kind of, digital team in digital strategies who made it happen for me to be on campus. Like I said at the beginning, it's been more than 100 days since I've been here, and for this to be your place of work and not being here for so long, definitely a place that I'm happy to be back, even though I am alone. So thanks to the security office, the president's office in digital strategies for allowing me special permission to be here and engage with you guys online. Definitely a different experience, but one that I'm really happy that I had to have. Alors, j'aimerais remercier l'équipe de l'équipe stratégie digitale, le bureau de sécurité ainsi que le bureau du directeur qui m'ont donné la permission spéciale d'y être ici sur le campus en personne pour engager avec vous pour cette vidéo. Aussi, tous ceux d'entre vous à l'université, la communauté universitaire qui sont en train de travailler très, très fort afin de vraiment retourner un statut normal, on va dire, après le COVID. Alors, je sais que plusieurs d'entre mes collègues, surtout l'équipe exécutive, qui ont dédié plusieurs heures afin de non seulement communiquer les informations au plus vite que possible, mais aussi ceux au côté académique qui sont en train de vraiment naviguer cette portail, cet aspect virtuel. C'est sûr qu'il y a certaines difficultés, mais on fait de notre mieux et puis on apprécie toute la patience qu'on reçoit de vous. So I'd like to thank, all the everybody who's kind of putting the effort in to make things happen and make sure that we're stable to study, even though it is remote. Everyone from the executive team who is able to put in countless hours in order to get all this information out to our students. Everybody on the academic side who has been able to modify their courses accordingly to offer this virtual classroom and this virtual experience. As much as it's kind of different, it's kind of interesting to see how well we've been able to adapt in such a short amount of time. So I really appreciate everyone's effort going forward with that. And obviously those who were remote and, modifying remote delivery courses, we really appreciate all your efforts going forward. And special shout out to the class of 2021, or those who just graduated in 2020, sorry. I know obviously this is a bit of a different year for you to graduate and become alumni at Laurentian. But rest assured that we're still planning convocation, and as soon as we're able to host something, we most certainly will make sure to celebrate your success. I can't imagine how it would be to finish your degree online the way we did, but you guys all persevered, you guys came through, and I think it's a true testament of your abilities as students, both online and on campus. So congratulations to all the graduates who finished their studies in winter 2020. We'll make sure to have a nice celebratory party for you once we're able to return. Alors, tous ceux d'entre vous qui ont complété leurs études d'une façon virtuelle à la fin de la session d'hiver 2020, évidemment, c'était quelque chose qu'on n'a pas prévu et puis une expérience très, très différente. Alors, on aimerait vous remercier pour non seulement votre patience avec nous, mais aussi pour vos efforts que vous avez dédiés afin de compléter vos études avec succès pour recevoir votre bac ou votre maîtrise universitaire chez nous. Assurez-vous qu'aussitôt qu'on est capable de retourner sur le campus en grand groupe, on va célébrer votre succès. Mais c'est important de vraiment porter attention à ce que vous avez fait avec vos études. Et puis, je vous souhaite la bonne chance dans la vraie vie. Et puis, on espère de vous voir bientôt pour une session convocation. What building will I learn? Yeah, so if you're looking to, after my sign off, guys, so the buildings that will be open will be instructive for you if you're on campus. So if you're on campus, if you're living in residence, they'll let you know what buildings will be able to navigate. Right now, everything's closed and you have to have special permission to access residence. I'm sure that'll change for those who are moving in September, but stay tuned to that. If you're moving into residence, contact residence@laurentian.ca. Alors, les édifices qui sont ouverts présentement, aucun. Moi, j'ai dû avoir la permission spéciale afin d'accéder l'édifice Parker aujourd'hui. Alors, pour ceux d'entre vous qui vont arriver sur le campus en résidence à la fin du mois d'août, au début du mois de septembre, c'est sûr qu'il va y avoir un plan en place. Et puis, on va communiquer ce plan avec vous dès possible. Oh, you're welcome. Perfect. So, if you guys have any questions, you guys can shoot them and send them in the DMs. I think this is a really good session. I thank everybody for your questions and your level of engagement. I think it went pretty well. I didn't get asked how tall I was, and that's usually one of the very first questions that comes through, at least top 3. So thanks for that. And I'm going to sign off. We're going to be recording this session, putting it up online, sharing it on our social media platforms too. So if you want to recap any of the information that was shared, you'll have the opportunity to do so very, very soon. Si vous avez une question à poser, vitement, je veux juste vous faire savoir aussi qu'on est en train d'enregistrer la session. Alors, pour ceux d'entre vous qui ont des questions, vous êtes prêts à continuer les poser à travers notre compte Instagram. Et puis, on va poster cette vidéo qui est enregistrée sur nos médias sociaux afin que vous puissiez retourner afin de revoir les réponses que je vous ai partagées aujourd'hui. All right, perfect. Thanks a lot, team. Merci. Chimigwech.